Hello everyone and welcome back to Poser Full Movie Recaps. Today, I will show you an action thriller film with a touch of home invasion shocker slasher along the way, where the villains invaded a bachelorette party and finished the guests one by one. It begins with a woman on a cliffside road, who appears to be wounded and bleeding. Rewinding back to 24 hours earlier, the same woman is looking for something in the garage. Her name is Tess, an Iraqi war veteran and a recovering alcoholic who has returned home to be with her family. While looking at old family photographs, Beth appears to confront and reprimand her for foraging her home without permission. Tess explains that she's not there for her wine collection, but to look at their old stuff inside the trunk. The two women are sisters, but they had a tense relationship with each other for a long time. 3 hours later, Tess comes down to meet Beth's friends Bridget and Divya, where they have an awkward chat about her being sober for 6 months, and her current employment at the local elementary school. She tries to joke about her being Mr. Miyagi with breasts, but the other women didn't laugh or even get her joke, making the conversation more uncomfortable. When Beth's friends leave to freshen up, Beth informs her that they are leaving soon. Tess asks her why her friends are coming with them, because she thought that they will be driving together alone. Beth argues that she just invited them to go in one car to make it easy, and they exchange some polite insults, but in the end, Tess agrees to drive them to the farm. Another 3 hours passed by, and the women stop at a convenience store where they meet Mia and Esther. They have been friends since high school, and have gathered to attend Rose's bachelorette party on the farm. Bridget complains that it isn't really a party, since it's going to be held on a farm in the middle of nowhere. But Esther is excited, so they gather some supplies like snacks and alcohol. A group of rude guys passes some indecent comments on them, and when Tess comes, she mocks one of them by revealing her military background. Outside, Tess scratches one of the cars in the lot before going back to their car. After a long drive, the group arrives at the secluded location of the farm. The sisters immediately spot two men across the road in front of a red car, and wonder if they are the current caretakers as they both don't recognize the men. After they check inside the house, the girls start to relax outside on the lawn and prepare for the party. Rose, who is Tess and Beth's younger sister, arrives, and the bride-to-be happily greets them and joins their chat. Sometime later, Tess visits the house across the street where the two men stood earlier. She enters the house unnoticed when the phone suddenly rings. As the two men arrive, they talk about finishing some shady assignment while Tess hides listening to their chat. She hides under the bed when one of the men walks towards the room where she's in. When someone calls him, Tess finds an opportunity to escape and leave the house. Back at the main house, Beth catches Tess interrogating the chef, and Tess explains that she suspects something fishy about the supposed caretakers, much to Beth's annoyance. Beth reassures her about their safety in their own father's ancestral home, and even urges her to have fun and drink some, which doesn't go well with Tess. As the party begins, the chef brings in the food and starts stripping for the ladies, while Tess sits on the stairs of the porch, resisting drinking alcohol. Rose comes out and joins Tess, and the two share some of their thoughts about their life. Beth follows them and lashes out at Tess, as she thinks that she's just ruining the party she threw for Rose. Suddenly an arrow comes out of nowhere, and pierces Rose's chest straight in the heart. Beth screams and another arrow pierces the wall, so Tess commands her to open the door as she carries Rose inside the house. While everyone panics, Tess asks Beth to get her phone and call someone, but the woman is too agitated to do anything at the moment. Esther volunteers to call for help, as she's more familiar with the layout of the house. Without any warning, the chef-con stripper gets shot in the eye with an arrow and dies. When Tess discreetly peeks at the window, she sees a couple of trucks shining its headlights into the house while revving the engine. Since Tess is the only one with a combat background, she instructs the ladies to carefully lock the doors and switch the lights off, and discuss a plan to defend themselves. She asks if anyone else has a phone, so they can try to call the police or anyone for help, but realizes that they don't have phone signals. When she peeks through a window again, she finds that some men outside are slashing their tires, making sure that they cannot able to leave. With the limited resources they have, she instructs everyone to gather weapons which are comprised of home and kitchen appliances. She goes outside to try to stop the invaders, and is able to neutralize one of them, then go back inside the house. She asks the ladies if they recognize the guy named Billy in his photo from his wallet, but no one knows him. Beth cries and tells Tess how scared she is, as she just wants to see her daughter and be with her family again. Tess assures her that they will survive this as long as they all work together, and apologizes to her sister about always being at each other's throats in the past. When Tess goes upstairs to check on Esther, she finds her lifeless body hanging from the open window. She relays Esther's demise to the ladies, but Divya accuses Tess of faulty decision-making, so Tess retorts and tells her to take charge, which quickly shuts the woman. Suddenly a loud horn sounds from one of the trucks outside, followed by the arrival of the assailant's leader. He warns the women to surrender or get killed, so Tess signals the ladies not to obey him as he could be lying. The man outside insinuates that they are after something inside the house, so the other women question Tess and Beth about it. Both of them deny any knowledge of such an item, but the others skeptically believe it as they know Beth has a habit of lying. The leader interrupts their argument and tells them that they have limited time to surrender, so they should just open the door and let them in. Beth hysterically shouts her answer that there is nothing of value inside the house and begs them to leave. Tess finally recognizes the leader's voice, and tells the ladies that he was one of the rude guys at the store. Again, they try to blame her for their current predicament, but Tess thinks that there might be some other reason for their invasion. Meanwhile, one of the invaders relays that he found Billy's body, and the leader figures that it is Tess. Enraged with the loss of his comrade, he tells him that they will kill the woman who killed Billy and toy with the others before finishing them all. Tess relays her plans to send one of them running toward the house across the road, as it has a landline connection. Then she would follow that person to nab the attacker, and run to the tool shed to get some weapons. Mia volunteered for this task as she was a track field runner in school, and before leaving, she tells Tess she has a long-time crush on her, which astonishes the woman but appreciated nonetheless. When Mia reaches a safe distance, she shouts at the invaders to get their attention and runs fast into the caretaker's house. Unfortunately, she finds that the landline is disconnected and an attacker is about to approach her. She grabs a stone decoration and hits him repeatedly, and rushes out to run away into the dark. At the main house, someone knocks at the door and Divya quickly thinks that it is Tess. She then approaches the door and quietly asks if it is Tess, but when no one answers, she opens the door anyway, and instantly, an arrow pierces her mouth. The attackers kick the door and enter the house, and threaten to finish them all if they don't reveal where they stashed the money. Meanwhile, Tess finds the two caretakers tied to a chair with plastic bags wrapped across their heads. When she checks them, she finds one that is alive and asks her to cut his ties out. When she demands an answer on why the men are killing them, he tells her that they have been stashing money inside the attic from pushing illegal merchandise, and those guys found out about it. When the guys threatened to finish them, they told them that the women at the house are in cahoots with them, and they are their girlfriends who helped in their dealings. Hence they raided the home. While Tess looks for her father's weapon inside the shed, the man runs to escape but gets intercepted by one of the invaders and killed. When the invader confronts Tess for stabbing Billy, she easily overpowers the man and finishes him off with a pitchfork. She then grabs an axe and moves back toward the main house. The attacker has been interrogating what's left of the women, asking about the whereabouts of the money. They try to deny any knowledge of the money, as they were just having a bachelorette party for their friend. He then asks for Tess and Bridget answers that the woman is outside, and for all they know, it might be really her who hides the money. The man slashes Bridget's throat, then tell the others that they can do whatever they want with the rest of the girls after they finish their mission. Noelle offers herself freely to one of the attackers, and despite his companion's warning to do it later, he agrees to let her satisfy him. Tess hides behind the door while he unzips his pants, and simultaneously, Noelle attacks the man between the legs with a sharp object, while Tess hits the other with an axe. Beth comes from behind and suffocates the man who's bleeding between the legs, and Tess tells them to leave as soon as he perishes. She then proceeds to go upstairs to confront the leader, and tells him that they have nothing to do with the money. She adds that they were just at the wrong place at the wrong time, and he agrees to let her go if she turns her back and walks away in the opposite direction. She reveals her intent to finish him for killing her sister and friends, and with her war experience, she succeeds in finishing the man. She then goes back to the porch and drinks, while contemplating the recent tragedy that just happened. At the police station, she gives them an edited version of what really happened at the farm, to save her remaining sister and the other survivors from further trauma and assessment. She leaves out some details in the story and fills in with her imagination, omits the others' participation as much as she can, making her story a bit difficult to digest. The sheriff interrogates and behaves rudely with Tess, and he refuses to believe her story and orders her never to step foot in the area again. Tess complies and meets Beth and Noelle in the lobby, and embraces Beth before going out. She scratches the sheriff's car with her keys and goes to Mia who's been waiting for her, and they drive away. Mia holds Tessa's hand to comfort her, as she just lost her younger sister during the invasion, which increases her suffering and trauma of war. Subscribe to watch more videos like this. You can also hit the notification bell and like the video to help the channel out. Thank you.